Hi guys, Carly here. Thank you for once again tuning back into my YouTube channel. I know this video is up a lot later than it usually goes up in the week. I normally upload like Saturdays and Sundays, but unfortunately this weekend I had some family issues I had to deal with in my personal life, and that meant filming and kind of editing and getting all this video uploaded was going to be near impossible. So I postponed and shifted around my filming schedule for a few days, so it is up a little bit later, but have no fear, you are still getting another video later in the week to make up for it for you guys. So as promised, the video today is Glee in 2020, and I am going to be talking today about stuff Glee would not get away with anymore, and whether I think the show would be as successful as it was if it aired now in 2020. So without, I had to do a little, to be honest, and also guys, sorry, just a little disclaimer, I had to do a little bit of research for this, so I've actually done a complete run through of the show, picking up points of what I think the show wouldn't get away with nowadays, and watching it back again, even though I watch it all the time, I was kind of more aware when I was looking for not problems with the show but things they wouldn't get away with, and I was actually really shocked at the amount of stuff I found. I have condensed this video down a little bit and done the main, I think I've got like 8 or 9 things that they wouldn't get away with, but if you go through and watch it again, watch it because it's really, and if you're like looking for it, because it's really interesting, because I never picked up on this kind of stuff before. Like when I watched it I was just like really happy, and then when I watch back some of the stuff I'm like, oh my gosh, like they just would not get away with that nowadays. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So the first thing that they would not in any way, shape or form, and it's actually probably the biggest point to what they would not get away with, especially in 2020, is a lot of the comments they make are either like homophobic, racist, transphobic, and I don't think they've done that intentionally on the show to be cruel. I think they've done it to do the points of storylines and to raise awareness of it. I don't think it was done maliciously, but I think unfortunately if it aired in 2020 you would not get away with putting half the comments that they put on that show out there, because some of them are brutal, and I don't mean this horribly, but especially the comments that Sue says a lot of the time. I think Sue's probably the worst for it. Like obviously it's not Jane Lynch, it was just what was written for her as the character, but you would just not get away with it. Like I'm not even going to repeat some of the stuff that I watched that I was like absolutely shocked with, because it was really bad, some of the stuff, and they just would not get away with it. And on that point, another thing they would not get away with is some of the comments and the stereotypical names that they make towards the kids and I suppose even the teachers. In some situations nowadays, you just would not get on TV. Like if you remember in the episode Throwdown, Sue like is calling the kids up and she goes like Aretha, gay kid, Asian, other Asian, Shaft, I can't, Wheels, and you just would not get away with calling anyone that day. It's totally unacceptable. And I think at the times back then when Glee did originally air, bear in mind that was like, well, if you include the pilot, like 11 odd years ago, 10-11 years ago now, and just half the stuff that they said you just could not get away with. Times have moved on so much since then, and if Glee aired and said those things now, they would get so many complaints because it just would not be acceptable. Another thing that I really don't agree with, I never have agreed with it, but I just thought they would just not get away with it nowadays, especially with all kind of things that have progressed, and like obviously everything progresses as time goes on, but I just thought something else they would not get away with is, do you remember in the first episode, Sandy Bryson, who was the Glee Club teacher before Mr. Shute, he actually touched the kid, and I know people say Rachel Grayfire, but he was actually touching was the other Hank Saunders, and then he was banned and told to stay away from children, and he came back all the time for like a couple of episodes, and I just like, you would not get away with that. If a teacher done that nowadays, I work in childcare, okay, so I know all about like the policies, safeguarding procedures and everything like that, and if you done that nowadays, you would be out of the job quicker, and you would not show that, and you would not promote that on a TV, a teacher coming back even after he's been told to stay away from children because he's touched them, and he's going to probably be on lists and stuff like that. You just wouldn't never get away with that, and you could never actively promote that on TV, especially when you did have some younger viewing audiences with the show Glee. Like, I'm not saying everyone was young that watched it, but there was younger people that watched it with their families, and you just would never promote that and make people think it's okay that that a teacher would be allowed back in to what's supposed to be like your safe zone. You just wouldn't. And speaking of that subject, another thing you would never get away with, we're going to talk about the Park and Shelby storyline where they slept together, and then Quinn found out because Park told Quinn, which is all very good and well because he should be telling someone, because what Shelby did is completely wrong, and then they just do absolutely nothing with that information. That just would never happen nowadays. Like, someone would find out for starters, and it'd be the same thing that would happen with Sandy. Like, you just wouldn't get away with it, and you wouldn't want to promote that kind of behaviour, I don't personally think, to audiences. But so I don't think they'd get away with that. Another thing, which is kind of on the same subject, and this really annoyed me, and comment below if this annoyed you. Does anyone remember the storyline where well, Kitty was involved as well, but particularly Ryder told all the boys that he was you know, abused as a child, and I think he said his babysitter molested him or something like that. Oh my gosh. And then they just like laughed it off and joked about it. You would not get away with that this day. That is a really serious issue, and I don't think in any way, shape or form in this day and age Glee would get away with just shaking it off and making a joke about it. It's not funny. This is a real issue, and I honestly don't think they would get away with it nowadays. Another thing that Glee, I was thinking, would not get away with today, especially with all like the progression that's been made in the community with it, is, do you remember, is it in the episode Heart? Yeah, I think it's Heart, which is season 3, episode 11 or 13 or something like that. Brittany and Santana go to kiss in the hallway, and then Figgin stops them and says, like, oh, you two can't show public displays of affection, blah blah blah. And you just would never get away with that. Everyone's treated equally. You would never get away with telling someone to stop. Even, I understand he said it was because of religious, like someone's religious reasons, which I totally respect, people's religions and things like that, but I don't think in this day and age you would get away. I mean, Brittany and Santana storyline, I think, just think how important it was in like giving people a voice. And I think, I don't want to say this, but I don't think saying that in 2020 they would ever get away with it. I might be wrong, and I hope I am wrong saying that it wouldn't happen in 2020, but I don't think you could get away with saying to two people who love each other that it's wrong to kiss, even if it is down to someone's religion. Everyone is entitled to love who they love, and it's as simple as that. You know, that's as simple as it is at the end of it, and they would just never ever get away with it. Okay, another thing that we would never get away with is Will. Like, right, the thing is, I think Mr. Shu is a good teacher, but some of the stuff he does is really appropriate, like twerking along the hallway with the kids singing Blur lines, which we all know, as I've said before, what that song is about. You would never get away with that, for starters. And then his morals sometimes were really wrong. Like, do you remember when Sue was the principal and she said, if you stop twerking, I'll give Unique a key to use like the staff toilets because he doesn't feel comfortable going in the other toilets? And he was like, no, like, Will would just not get away with that. Like, no teacher would ever do that, I would hope, in this day and age. And you just wouldn't get away with it. It's about, Glee was always about, for me, the inclusivity of it, and it brought so many issues to light. And that's why when I say a lot of these things, it is with a heavy heart that I'm doing this video, because, you know, I just thought it'd be a nice idea to do that, but a lot of these things you just wouldn't get away with showing on TV anymore in like 2020. And the last thing is the way Sue treats the kids. There is no way you could get away with showing that in 2020. I don't think. I just think, like I said earlier, the comments, especially like that come out of Sue's mouth, you just couldn't get away with in 2020. There were so many more things, like I said at the start, guys, that I could have put in this video, because there's just, the more you watch it, the more you realize. I think all the comments and kind of stuff was said with the, not like I said at the start, I don't think they were said with the intention to hurt anyone's feelings or be malicious in any way. I think it was to actually raise lights on the issues and give a more meaningful statement, saying that, you know, everyone is equal at the end of the day, guys. I've seen so many fights on like Twitter and Instagram, and this is going off of the subject a little bit, that people are being really cruel to each other. And I just want to say, you know, respect each other. You know, life is honestly too short. Be kind. You know, the show taught us to be kind and respect everyone, and that's what everyone should be doing anyway. There's always room for growth, and to teach people that might think differently, and to give them a voice to why it's important. But that is today's videos, guys. I do really hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below, guys, please. It does mean the absolute world to me. I'll be back with you later in the week, and I'm doing another two-parter. I am doing the girls of Glee, talk about all the girls and ranking them from my favorite girl to the least favorite girl, and then I'm going to do the boys and supporting characters. So it's actually going to be a three-parter coming your way. I have also, guys, I did ask this question before, but I'm really interested to know, I have actually taped a video of what I think of the whole Leah Michelle and Samantha Ware drama, what went on earlier this year, what my views are on it and stuff. I am a little bit nervous to post it, so it is actually a private video. Yeah, I haven't put it public, so I have got the link. So please let me guys know below. Let me know below. Oh, sorry guys. Let me know below, guys, if you want to see that video. I can make it public. I'm just very nervous because I feel like it's going to be a very controversial video. I feel like you're either gonna love it and get what I'm saying, or you're gonna absolutely hate it. So I have made it, but I'm very nervous to post it, because it is a very, the situation surrounding what the drama started is a very sensitive subject, and I am a little bit nervous to post it. So if you guys, I'm sorry to keep rambling, but if you guys do want me to post it, please let me know below, because I am really nervous if I do post it. But like I said, guys, give this video a like, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye guys.